I can't seem to spend much time away from my Leica Q3 lately, and I finally figured out there are 8 reasons why. Let's talk about it. Welcome aboard. I'm Brian Carmichael with Captured Light Creative. Thanks for joining me to spend a little time talking about my Leica Q3 addiction. Last weekend I was up in the Santa Ynez Valley up in Central California doing a little camping and exploring in my VW camper van, maybe a little bit of wine tasting too. Had a good time. It rained the entire time, and one of the great things about being out in the rain with the Leica Q3 is you can be sure that you're not going to have any issues. It's IP52 weather resistant and just does a great job in the rain. I think most people know the specs on the Leica Q3, so I won't belabor the video with that. But of course, 60 megapixels just a beautiful time. I decided this time to have a little fun and just shoot JPEGs. I just did that video about the Leica looks. I'll put the link to that down below if you want to watch that and learn how to put Leica looks on your Q3. But I decided that since it was gloomy and raining up there, I would go ahead and use the Greg Williams Leica look, which is a black and white look. It's a little less contrasty than the built-in film style. What I usually like to shoot is the high contrast monochrome. So it's a little less contrasty than that, but I thought it would be fun, and it was, and I was able to get a few decent pics even though we were out in the rain there. So let's take a look at a few of them. So while I was up shooting, and hanging out in my camper van, it really, I had a lot of time to think, and I got thinking, why am I always grabbing the Leica Q3? I have, lots of other Leicas. I have lots of other cameras, a lot of Sonys that do great in the weather as well. But it seems, more and more lately, when I'm just looking at my cameras ready to go on a quick weekend trip or a 4-day weekend or something, or even longer travel, I just tend to pick up this camera. It's just a fun camera. It feels good in hand. And so, I started thinking, why do I do that? And so I decided that there were 8 reasons why I can't seem to put down the Leica Q3. So the first reason is it's just fun. It really is. It's just plain fun. You pick this camera up and you're ready to go. It's got this great small form factor, autofocus, JPEGs, RAWs, all the built-in film styles, along with the uploadable, I guess, because you upload them from your phone onto the camera. And you can use all those fun things and all those Leica looks. And of course, you have the ability to shoot, as I said, in JPEG and RAW in 3 different sizes, right? You can shoot 60 megapixel, big whopper high-res files. You can gear down to 36 megapixel or all the way down to 18 megapixels, all in the same camera. And of course, only one SD card here. And, you have to ask yourself why. I think because it's fun. It's definitely an easy camera. This is one of those magical, advanced cameras that can be used by a complete beginner. It's easy, right? And it's got USB-C charging. You don't need to bring a bunch of extra chargers with you. And it's got the Leica quick menu and the other Leica menus that are very simple. And this is a camera that is very easy, and it could be picked up by an absolute beginner that could shoot great pictures. You could go in full auto mode or aperture priority or shutter priority, whatever you want. But a beginner could really go in full auto mode here and produce great pictures while they're learning photography, right? You don't have to learn photography first with this camera. You can pick this up as a relative beginner, and this thing will give you great pictures right out of the box. You could use this for years and years, right? You could use this as a stepping stone into the M line or the SL line, but I actually have both, right? I have M's, I have SLs, and yet I pick this up when I want something that's just easy. Okay, if you want a rugged camera, this thing is it, right? I've carried this camera in everywhere, right, for a few years now, and it still looks brand new. Of course, I haven't dropped this one yet, but hopefully I won't. But you don't have to worry about dust, especially because the lens doesn't come off, right? So there's no chance you're going to get dust in. It's weather sealed, right? It's got the IP52 weather rating, which those numbers, I think the 5 stands for dust and the 2 stands for moisture intrusion. But I mean, you're good in the Oregon rain, you're good in the Sahara desert dust. It's got a rugged, heavy duty, die-cast magnesium body, this beautiful leatherette, grip material all around, heavy duty glass on the rear display. It's just a bomb-proof camera, and you can tell, when you're holding this thing, it's a rugged piece of equipment. Another thing I like about this camera is it just travels really well. It's a real road warrior, I take this thing and I throw it in a backpack, I throw it in a suitcase or a duffel bag, and it does great. It doesn't take up much space. The body's very slim. You do have this lens, but it tends to stay nice and compact, and of course is much easier than carrying another camera with 3 or 4 lenses. As a matter of fact, I noticed yesterday as I was driving around taking pictures that I often just put it in the cup holder of my car like this. It fits right in the cup holder, and I can just grab it out when I need to shoot a picture. I don't think that's an approved Leica storage method, but it works great for me. I just have it sitting right there in the center console, right in the cup holder. It's got a nice metal lens hood, which is great, and a great metal lens cap. And if you like, a nice, compact, easy camera with you while you travel, this is it. I was laughing while I wrote that, but really this is a badass camera, right? It's got this rugged exterior, a Summilux lens, a 1.7 Summilux lens, 60 megapixel sensor, a tilting screen, the Leica color science. It's really got all the things that make it a badass camera. And of course, you can crop to your heart's content on that sensor as well. So it's just a great camera with great picture quality. And it's a camera, like I said, that can be used in just JPEG mode like I was playing with this time, or RAW mode. It's really a flexible camera, but at its heart, it's a badass camera. So if you watch this channel, you probably know I'm a fan of a little bit wider angle. The 28mm focal length I really like, especially for street photography. It's a great wider angle. A lot of people like 35 on the street. Some people like to play with 50s on the street and get real tight. I like the wide angle. I just think it tells a better story. So that, there's a lot more you can see that's going on around, and I feel like it informs the subject a little bit more. And the other thing is, at 28, I can crop in later. You've got 60 megapixels to play with here. But one of the things where I really appreciate that 28mm focal length is a lot of times, I'll be shooting and I'm on the street and I just want to shoot like at waist level. I might tilt the screen up and shoot at waist level so I'm not attracting a lot of attention. or I may even just hold the camera out, you know, like this and take a picture, or just take a picture. Or a lot of times I'll like pretend like I'm working on something on the camera, and I'll shoot a picture over this way. And I'm not, you know, actually in the viewfinder or looking at the back of the camera. I'm just kind of winging it and going by feel. And that 28 gives you, you know, much better odds of capturing that shot you want to get. You know, and on the street particularly, and I do like to shoot people, and I like to shoot people, you know, as they live on the street. You know, one of the things I find is things happen really fast. You know, I can't tell you how many, well, I probably can tell you all the shots I've wanted to take that I just barely missed because I wasn't fast enough. And the 28 gives me a little bit of flexibility, so I can just pop up and shoot a picture real quick, or, you know, go like, you know, shoot to the side, just take a picture and catch somebody without attracting a lot of attention. So I'm a big fan of 28 millimeter, especially for my kind of photography where I'm doing a lot of street photography and those things. And, you know, of course, the 28 millimeter on this camera combined with the 1.7 aperture, it's just just dynamite in low light, or if you just want a really shallow depth of field, just a great lens on this camera. And the 28 millimeter is just a great focal length. You know, one of the greatest things about the Q3, I think I even said it in my review, one of the things that I really love is it's just complete. It's just this camera. There's nothing else for me to think about. You know, maybe a camera strap, right? But other than that, I don't have to think about a lot when I'm getting ready to go. I just grab this thing. Sometimes, you know, not so many choices is a good thing. You know, when I'm taking an M or an SL3 or, you know, an M film camera, you know, I'm gathering up all the stuff and I'm thinking, oh, what lenses do I want? And I'll take, you know, 2 or 3 lenses, which is funny because I think I always end up using one. But there's just a lot of more thought and you know, grabbing things that you have to complete your kit. And when you pick up that Q3, it's just ready to go, right? It's got USB-C charging, so, you know, I've always got a USB-C charger with me for my phone, so I don't have to bring some big old extra bulky charger. I never bring really even an extra battery. You know, if I need remote control or anything like that, I can just do it right through the app, right? I can control the camera right through the app. I can download photos to the app. The Leica app just is a real slick app and works very well. So, you know, it's just a great complete camera. Oh, and, you know, let's not forget video up to 8K, right? So we could do 8K 60. I'll shoot 4K video with this a lot of times as a kind of a true hybrid camera. So it is really the complete package. The final reason I can't seem to put this camera down lately is it's got personality, which surprised me, right? When I first picked up the Q line, I started with the Q2 and now I've got this Q3. You know, everybody talked about the Q line as the entry level to Leica, which is a role I think, by the way, that Deluxe 8 owns now. But when I got my first Q, the Q2, I expected it to be an entry-level camera, and it was so much more than that. I mean, it was an advanced piece of machinery and a lot going on. And the Q, all the Q line cameras bring a lot to the table. But it's just got it's got more personality. I expected it to be like just a kind of a basic camera, but it really has a lot of personality. It reminds me of a friend of mine, actually, who's like this overly positive guy. So he never plans anything. Whenever I do anything with him, there's no planning. We're just winging it. You know, we might go somewhere where I'm going, let's just plan this out. There's going to be tons of traffic. You know, there's going to be nowhere to park. And he's just like, let's just go. And I'll be doggone if every time I do something with him, it works out. You know, 99% of the time it works out. And when it doesn't work out, he's so positive it doesn't matter anyway. And the Q3 reminds me of him a lot. It's a camera that just feels like it's always saying, let's go. You know, I'm ready. Let's go. We don't need to plan anything. Just grab it. Let's go. And I think, you know, all the Q-line cameras with their kind of self-contained simplicity, you know, for all those reasons I've talked about in this video, you know, they're just a great companion with good personality. And I feel like this camera is you know, it's like when I take my dog for a walk, you know, this camera's ready to go. I don't need to put any thought into it. I just grab it. It takes great, you know, pictures with the Leica look and feel. And it's a fun camera. And really, you know, I think the best value camera in the Leica line, because, you know, you get this great Summilux lens, you get this great 60 megapixel sensor, and this super rugged body. And, you know, for the money, I think this is the best Leica you could buy. You know, you combine that with autofocus and you know, all the other things this camera brings to the table. And, you know, it has a great personality of an easy companion you're going to want to take places. So, you know, if you want a camera that is, you know, does all the things we just talked about, plus is a great companion, a great travel companion, a great camera with a lot of personality that brings a lot to the table, you know, the Leica Q3 is the way to go. Hey, thanks for joining me today to talk about my 8 reasons why I can't seem to put the Leica Q3 down lately. It's funny because I've been hanging on to it the entire time I've been filming this video. You know, I run this thumb rest and grip. I'll put the links in the description if you're interested in that. But it is a camera that, with this stuff on it, is so easy to hold, and for some reason I couldn't put it down even while I'm making this video, but I am gonna set it down right now. Hey, just a little word about subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's easy. Just hit the subscribe button, and if you hit the little alarm button, the little alert button, you'll get notified when I put a new video up. But the more subscribers we get, you know, the more people are able to find the channel and enjoy the videos and learn a little bit, hopefully, from some of the content I'm putting up. One of the things I really enjoy is the comment section, with, you know, a lot going on in the comments of the videos, which is great. You know, YouTube is a social media platform, and that's the social part, hopefully, that you're commenting and hopefully getting some conversations going in the comment section. I'm sure there's a lot of things I've missed. If you're a Q2 or Q3 or even a Q user, you know, love to hear some of your thoughts about what you love about the camera and why maybe you can't put it down. You know, if you're looking at the Q and you're watching this because you're thinking about, you know, buying a Q, it is just a fantastic camera. I mean, you can't go wrong. So if you're kind of hemming and hawing about, should I buy that camera, it's a great camera. You know, either the 28 or the new 43. I'm a 28 fan, as you know, so that wider angle I like a lot. If you're looking for a little bit, you know, tighter angle with the lens, then go with that 43. But, you know, any Q, you know, the first Qs were the first ones out of the gate. They had a little bit of, you know, some issues with dust intrusion and some things that were taken care of with the Q2. And then, of course, the new Q3 is latest and greatest. So I think if you were going to start with a new Q camera, I'd probably start at a Q2. And, you know, then, you know, move into a Q3 if you think you need it. I had a Q2 for a long time, and the Q3 was a nice step up, but, you know, practical differences, not a ton. So a used Q2 would be a great way to get into the Q line, or a great way to get into Leica if you're looking to step into the Leica ecosystem. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.